everyone, to the May 30th, 2019 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. I think I'll have Captain Vance lead us in the pledge.
There he is.
Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Captain. I'm Barb Lewis, President. To my left is our Vice President, Jeff Benton, and to our right, our Assistant Administrator, Dawn Houston, and our Clerk, Sarah DeNovo. We can begin.
Resolution number 19-506, in the matter of approving the electronic record of proceedings held from regular meeting May 23rd, 2019.
So moved.
Second, discussion vote.
Vote on motion 19-506. Mr. Merrill is absent this morning. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We have no public comment this morning. Next on our agenda is Patrick Brandt, Director of Emergency Communications, and Sean Miller, Director of Emergency Management.
Welcome, gentlemen.
Good morning, Commissioners. Sean Miller, Director, Delaware County Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Management. Of course, with me today is Director Brandt from Delaware County Emergency Communications. And we're here today to talk briefly regarding the storm impacts of Monday night, as well as warning and notification methods. And on May 27th, 2 tornado warnings were issued for Delaware County by the National Weather Service, one at 11:08 p.m. and the next at 11:34 p.m. That night we coordinated very closely with Patrick's folks, the National Weather Service, and amateur radio, and thankfully the impacts to Delaware County were very minimal. Despite those 2 tornado warnings, there were no indications of tornadic activity in Delaware County. There's no damages that would support that kind of an event. However, there was one injury reported, which appeared to be a potential lightning strike. However, damages statewide were a little bit different and much more impactful. And I'd like to share a few notes from the state situation report that Governor DeWine issued this morning at 7 a.m. This kind of goes over the whole state and what the impacts still are. So the State Emergency Operations Center down in Columbus is at a partial activation level in response to the impacts from that weather. 2 county emergency operations centers remain open, and those are Montgomery and Greene counties. The CEOC has processed 21 mission requests and 3 requests for information, and that has entailed deployment of bottled water, road signage, fire equipment, generators, search and rescue personnel, transportation assets, communication, and security to those impacted counties. Additionally, the Red Cross is maintaining 5 shelters currently within those counties. There was 1 confirmed death of an 81-year-old man who was killed in his bed, and the circumstances were incredible. The storm actually picked up a car, flung it into his house, and killed him in his bed. Multiple reports of storm-related injuries. As I mentioned, 5 shelters remain open. Critical infrastructure has been impacted to include water, transportation, and energy. Statewide, there's still 24,000 power outages. And as of this morning as well, there were 19 confirmed tornadoes by the National Weather Service in Ohio alone as a result of this weather system. So very impactful. And in addition to that, Governor DeWine, I believe it was yesterday, issued a state of emergency for Montgomery, Greene, and Mercer County. So 3 counties had a state declaration from this. So based off of this, the time to prepare is really now. And there's no time like the present to do this, but these events just go to reiterate that. So with that, emergency management, Delcom, Jane and Marissa have been working to provide information to the public and stakeholders in a timely manner. Obviously, after these events, there was a terrific amount of public interest in warnings and notification systems, and we've been doing a great deal to get that information out. Preparedness, however, need not be an expensive proposition, and there are many things that folks can do that would not cost much money at all, if any. And so Patrick and I are going to talk a little bit about some of those things that folks can do to prepare, and that includes having methods for warnings and notifications. So first and foremost, sirens, they're not designed to be heard inside a structure or vehicle. They're really designed to alert folks who are outside. And when those warning sirens go off, those outdoor warning sirens, they are an indication that folks should seek shelter immediately, as well as more information. In Delaware County, if a tornado, or warning siren rather, goes off, outdoor warning siren, then that means that a tornado warning is touching some part of Delaware County. And with that, all the sirens, 16 sirens in Delaware County would be activated. We cannot at this time isolate by a specific warning area, which Patrick will touch on those warning areas here in a moment. So if the tornado warning hits Delaware County, all of them will go off. Typically, they are activated by Delcom. However, EMA coordinates the activation system, and we relay any mechanical issues to the jurisdictions that operate and maintain their individual sirens. Delaware County Emergency Management only owns 4 sirens, 2 at each of the state parks. The rest of the sirens, the other 12 sirens, are owned by the jurisdictions in which they're located. There is no all clear issued, and the sirens are activated throughout the duration of the warning. And so if you hear the sirens go off again, that is not an indication of an all clear. That means that the warning is still going on. And the sirens were sounded multiple times Monday evening as a result of that. And I would urge multiple means of indoor notifications, ones which will awaken individuals in the middle of the night. So some people may well hear the outdoor warning sirens inside their homes, which is certainly a bonus. However, you want multiple systems really that will wake you up in the middle of the night, to include a system called Wireless Emergency Alerts, or WEA is the acronym for it that you often see it referred to as. But this nationwide program is on cell phones, and most cell phones have the capability of receiving these alerts. Most people know it as the Amber Alert system because that is typically the alert that is most often received through this system. However, the National Weather Service also has the capability to tap into this for tornado warnings, and it's a very powerful system because it's nationwide, and we know from the statistics through Patrick's agency that folks really carry their cell phones with them very frequently, and most of their 911 calls are received by cell phone now. So based off of that, it's a very powerful system. It's also an opt-out system, meaning that if your cell phone is compatible, you should already have most of these alerts enabled without having to download anything. And I would urge individuals not to opt out of these alerts because they're very important. And if a cell phone is compatible, typically it's listed under government alerts under settings, so certainly something to look into. But again, I urge not opting out of that system because it's very important. Also, making sure that phone settings do not hinder receiving alerts, either through wireless emergency alerts or our local system, Delco Alerts, which Patrick will speak to here in a moment. But again, making sure that if those alerts come through, you will hear them and you do not have your phone off or ringer down, things of that nature. Lastly, NOAA weather radios are an excellent system for receiving timely notifications. A good model only runs about $30, and you can tailor the programming for some of those models for just the county that you're interested in and just the desired alerts that you want to hear about. So, no one wants to hear about a fog advisory at 2 a.m. 3 counties over, but certainly individuals would want to hear about a tornado warning impacting their county. So that programming is a great benefit to those, and we're happy to help anyone who needs help in assisting or programming those radios. So with that, I will let Patrick hit on a couple of points, and then we'll discuss sheltering briefly.
Morning, Commissioners. Just on that night, myself and Sean were in contact with each other, as well as my staff downstairs. We received the alerts in the 911 center, obviously by the weather, emergency alerts through the weather system to the TV. Our state computer that we have down there for law enforcement data comes across, along with the weather wireless alerts. Once any of those come into the center, our staff all have the ability to turn around and activate the sirens countywide. We don't have to wait for approval from Sean's office or anybody else. We send out that notification, and we also do a notification via text messaging through an alert system we have for all the fire and EMS people on duty. There are radio systems, as you saw. I can't remember what town, it was over in Beaver Creek area, where they had one of the fire departments got hit and had their equipment damaged. This gives the ability of the fire departments to know as well as coming, is another means for them. Some of them go out on the air and try to get their equipment in different areas. Some try to maintain, it's all up to their local policies. But we do notify all the on-duty staff immediately as well. With that, we've had a lot of questions on the Delco alert system, which our system is there is not just to notify on weather stuff, but people can also sign up for it on if the sheriff's office has some type of incident, the Powell Police or Delaware City, any of them have a situation of bank robbery or missing child, elderly person or something that we've used on, and people can sign up for that on our website. One of the questions that we've got over the last couple days that I've gotten concerns, that system services the people that we cover in our 911 center. So if you live in the city of Westerville, Dublin, or Columbus, that system does not serve you. You must sign up through Franklin Counties, which is alertfranklincounty.org, or if you live in Dublin, they also have another system over there, which you can go to the Dublin Police webpage and sign up for that. So that's one of the confusions. A couple of the residents have called us and said, I've tried to sign up, it won't let you. Well, when we did our contract with the vendor, they said, what's your service area of your 911 center? We obviously provided a file of what our service area is based on the geographical boundaries of the annexations. It takes out those jurisdictions. So those jurisdictions that do, they're being paid for, but they're being paid for by Franklin County because that's where they're paying tax dollars into. Along with that, the polygons and the warnings that do go out, and how Sean is like, most of the watches are done by county. If you see a watch goes out, it does for a large area, it does by a warning. One of the concerns we had from residents that came in was on the warning, I didn't get a phone call, my neighbor did. Those are not set by us. Those are electronically sent to the system by the National Weather Service. The first one that came in the other night, it went from the county line out into Ostrander all the way in, and if you can go out Central Avenue where Panera is, more or less draw a straight line through Panera, and go north up to about Hills Miller Road and then jog out towards Radnor, and it goes that way. So somebody who lived in the city back there behind Bueller's and such, one side of the street would have got a phone call, the other side did not. That is nothing that's in our control or we can do. It's all based on the National Weather Service, how they put out the polygon. We did look into the system real quick to give you one final thing. The first one that went out through the county, the system sent out just under 5,000 alert notices, and then the second one that went out, the alert that went out at 11:30 at night, sent out just over 27,000. So obviously we do have a fair amount of people in there, but obviously anybody who's in the county who would like to sign up has more an ability to sign up on our webpage and get a hold of us if they have any questions between our office and Sean.
And they can get texts now, too.
Yes, text is always preferred.
Yeah.
If you think about it, with the phone system, the landlines and that, if you're home, the wireless emergency alert is always activated based on the polygons and any cell phone towers that are existing in there. One of the things we've seen in past, and I can't speak to it today, but I'll say we've seen it in the past with it, is with the landlines, we can overrun the local phone system. We've seen when, this is going to sound crazy, when American Idol first came out back in years and moons ago, that literally overran the local phone system when people had to do their votes that way, and we had to adjust our 911 infrastructure to account for that in our county. So we know that can happen still, and as you know, more people are going VoIP and stuff, it offsets it, but yes, it's preferred by text because we know it's not going to bog down the system as much on the voice ones.
Interesting.
Yes. Any other questions or anything? I'll turn it back to Shonda.
Well, I just had a
Okay.
question. Someone did ask me too, and I believe, Sean, you and I spoke about this, but, is there a delay on our information going out because of the quantity of,
I would say on the sirens and the notification out of the center,
Yeah.
the system that we have, the Delco alert system, how it goes out, I want to say it's processing about 1,000 a minute or some crazy, it's some astronomical number. But
Okay.
once again, you have to watch on how many, if we increase the amount that goes out, the increase of the local phone infrastructure from Frontier, CenturyLink, all these people, AT&T and all them, we are going to bog down their system and they're not going to be able to process it.
Okay.
So we got to watch how much we inundate theirs, and that's why it's throttled to the setting it is. So we're
Okay.
not overloading the local phone systems.
Okay,
The text and all that, they control everything through the cell phone companies and not a problem.
okay, thank you.
And with, like, Delco alerts, as Patrick said, that's based off of the polygons, and if your registered address is within that polygon, then you'll get the alert. With wireless emergency alerts, it's actually based off of your cell phone's location in reference to that warning polygon. So those two are very geographically targeted, whereas the sirens are by county.
Okay.
So lastly, I just want to touch on a couple of points with regards to watches and warnings specifically. And we've talked about ways to get these alerts, but what do these alerts mean? What do they mean for you and your family? So a watch means that conditions are correct for something to occur. Conditions are conducive for something to occur. A warning means that something is imminent or already occurring. So if a tornado warning is issued, that means seek shelter now, immediately. Don't go and verify through other sources of information. Get to your shelter first and then see what's going on. So with that, where do you want to shelter? Well, a basement or specially designed storm shelter are the best places to go. However, these are not always available, and if you live in a home that's just on a slab, stick-built home on a slab, the best place to go would be a small, centrally located room without windows on the lowest level of your home. And the idea is you want to put as many layers between yourself and the outside as possible, because one of the main hazards with tornadoes is the debris that they end up picking up, such as the car we spoke about earlier. So putting as many walls, as many barriers between yourself and the outside as possible is vital. Mobile homes are not safe, and identifying a safe place to go beforehand is a very important step toward preparedness. And so if you live in a mobile home which is not safe, and say a tornado watch is issued, that is probably a good time to get to your safe place. Don't wait till a warning, because you may not have enough time at that point to get to your safe place. So pre-designate a shelter area. And lastly, I just wanted to touch on the safe room at Delaware State Park. That evening, Ohio Department of Natural Resources reported that there were 95 campers and residents that took advantage of that safe room. And I just wanted to relay that to you because, of course, the commissioners helped to support that project. So kind of an example of return on investment. So with that, I'd be happy to entertain any questions.
Boy, and it was just opened, what, a couple weeks ago?
The dedication was a few weeks ago, that's
The
right.
dedication, yeah. Oh, my gosh, yes, certainly glad we had it.
Well, I want to thank both of you for educating and reminding and just highlighting. You really need to sign up and make sure you stay current on your cell phone with text, calls, emails, et cetera, because those are the most reliable ways of getting informed of dangerous situations. So I think that reminder just needs to go out to the public.
And to go on that, is the reminder of that part is, if you change your cell phone number, you must need to update it.
Right.
Because those people
For
forget that.
example.
One of the things that, well, I signed up for it. No, I changed phone numbers for a reason. You got to update it.
Because the warning sirens are not everywhere in the county. You aren't going to hear them reliably indoors, and so on. So it's most important, and weather radios too.
The weather
are very
radio, I
good.
was just thinking of too.
Yeah,
right.
so I think that's the important thing we've highlighted, and we'll communicate over and over that people need to do that and sign up to help protect themselves.
Right. And if they if people would like to know more about specific weather radios and different recommendations.
Contact the EMA office
The
at
EMA office.
833-2180.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, we're happy to do that, and we're happy to program them as well, because one of the complaints, as I kind of alluded to earlier, is no one wants to hear about that fog advisory 2 counties away. They want information that is relevant to them, and that's why the programming is so important, and we're happy to help with that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And I'd like to thank both of you, too.
Right.
And for coming in and for all the work that you did, and also Sandy. And Jane, too, Jane helped out, because there's no way that Sandy can do all this when she's on the phone talking with people, and then she has to, take care of things, questions coming in through social media. So fortunately, and I think, what do they call it? A crisis communication team. And so with Jane's help, that was brought into work, and to handle the social media in particular. And so
We have a very good team here in Delaware County, and I think we work very collaboratively.
yes, yeah,
Great.
right.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Next.
Okay.
Resolution number 19-507, in the matter of approving purchase orders, then and now certificates and payments of warrants on batch number CMA PR 0529, and memo transfers on batch numbers MTA 0529.
So moved.
Second, discussion. Vote. Oh, you're right.
Vote on motion 19-507. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 19-508, in the matter of approving travel expense requests.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 19-508. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 19-509, in the matter of accepting and approving the Delaware County Sheriff's Office transport report for the month of April 2019.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 19-509. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 19-510, in the matter of granting annexation petition from the agent for the petitioner, David W. Fisher, requesting annexation of 260.56 acres of land in Berkshire Township to the village of Galena.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 19-510. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 19-511, in the matter of setting date, time, and place for the final hearing of the Commissioners for the Kingston Township Watershed Number 2017-2 Drainage Improvement Petition Project.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 19-511. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Next on our agenda is Lindsay Collins, Chair of the Delaware County Walk to End Alzheimer's Day.
Welcome, Lindsay.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lindsay Collins. I'm the walk director here in Delaware County for the Alzheimer's Association. Thank you both for having me again. I know this is our second year coming with you guys to do a proclamation for the walk. As most people know, hopefully in Delaware County, June is Brain and Alzheimer's Awareness Month. We're hoping to spread more awareness of this disease here in Delaware County specifically. Our walk is on August 10th this year, and if you've never been, it is a wonderful day filled with hope for those that are going through the journey, as well as those that are coming just to simply support our mission and our cause. Our walk itself is free to register. We want to make sure everybody here in Delaware County, no matter what financial background they have, can come and participate the day of the walk. I know that you guys are going to be reading a proclamation for us to deem August 10th as our Walk to End Alzheimer's Day here in Delaware County. So we just wanted to come and say thank you guys for supporting us for the second year in a row. This cause is very near and dear to a lot of folks here in Delaware. We also are hoping to spread awareness that we do have an office and resources here in Delaware. A lot of people have no idea that we're in the Andrews House. So we're hoping that people will spread the word. If you know of folks in town that are going through this, that need our resources as well, there are 2 part-time staff members in Delaware County. They can help with anything from full crisis mode all the way to how to register for our walk. So really keeping it short and simple, but we'd love to just say thank you guys, and our support here in Delaware keeps growing tremendously. Those of you that have been to our walk, last year we raised $82,000 as a community. Our goal this year is $100,000, and I know the folks here in Delaware will rally around the cause 100%. So thank you, and we're hoping, if you don't mind, to take a picture with us too.
Oh, absolutely,
Okay.
sure.
Now, what is the best way for people to reach you then?
Yeah, so there is a walk website. If you go to Google and just type in Delaware Walk to End Alzheimer's, my information is plastered all over that website. You can also call our office as well, but I am basically, if you research me, I am all over the place. So I am in our Columbus office where I'm actually located, so I kind of travel from different counties. I cover 3 different counties. So if you need me, just send me an email and I'll get back to you ASAP.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And we can certainly get a picture.
Sure.
Do the resolution first.
Thank you.
Have we voted yet?
Oh, why don't we vote then? You're right.
Resolution number 15-512, in the matter of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners recognizing June 2019 as Brain and Alzheimer's Awareness Month and August 10th, 2019 as the Delaware Walk to End Alzheimer's Day.
So moved.
Second, discussion vote.
Vote on motion 19-512. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
All right, we'll get a picture.
Yeah, and then I can change yours, yeah, that's fine. Do you want horizontal? Okay. All right, very good. We're set. Thank you.
Resolution number 19-513, in the matter of approving the renewal of the contract with COT Systems Incorporated to provide a comprehensive recording software solution for the Delaware County Recorder's Office.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Thank you for having me. I'm just here to answer any questions or give you a historical perspective if you needed it. I don't know if you want me to go into that or not.
You want to tell us who you are first?
Oh, Melissa, sorry. I was interested in that prior story. Melissa, Delaware County Recorder, here just for a renewal for our land recordation service, and here to entertain any questions.
Yeah, you've done a nice job of filling us in the background and
Okay.
where you want to go forward with this, and certainly you have to have this software,
Correct.
so seems reasonable.
And you've discussed it with me too, so I'm okay to proceed.
All right.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
We
Thank
can
you.
vote.
Vote on motion 19-513. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 19-514, in the matter of authorizing the purchase of equipment for the Delaware County Sheriff's Office.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning. Scott Vance, Captain, Sheriff's Office. As you may or may not know, we received the Bearcat, our armored vehicle, back in 2006. Number of years have passed. We utilize it quite a bit on various types of missions. It's due for some refurbishment as well as some enhancements for safety and usefulness, which is the majority of the quote that you have before you. Also, it'll be repainted so that it'll have many more years of service ahead. I'll be glad to answer any specific questions you may have, though.
What was it then that you showed us the other day?
When we were down at the range, I showed you up at the office was a transport van. I
That was a
believe when we took you down to the range, the armored vehicle was sitting up on the hill there. So
Oh, okay.
some of the enhancements, for instance, the front doors currently open, we call them suicide doors, they open backwards.
Okay.
Back in '06, that was apparently a tactical thought, not real great when you're rolling up on a house when somebody's sending things down range at you, that the doors open that way, so they were going to rehinge them. We're dealing with a half-inch hardened steel, so it takes a specific
Interesting.
company to deal with that.
Okay.
Some of the ports on it need to be widened to allow for better usefulness, and then there's just some general maintenance, suspension, the turret on the top, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So this is preferable to buying a new unit?
Yeah,
No Bearcat.
probably in the neighborhood of 2/3 less than doing that, if not more.
Yeah, and we'll get many more years out of it then, so.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Vote.
Vote on motion 19-514. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution number 19-515, in the matter of authorizing the use of procurement card for the Sheriff's Office.
So moved.
Second, discussion. Vote. Oh, well,
Yeah, anything you wanted to,
anything you'd like. Oh,
It looks
I'm
pretty
sorry.
routine.
Come on up. Yeah, pretty routine.
Hi, Julie McKenzie, Executive Assistant at the Sheriff's Office, just here to answer any questions.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Julie. Welcome. Yeah. I think we can, any questions?
No.
Vote.
Vote on motion 19-515. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution number 19-516, in the matter of approving an amendment to authorizing the use of the procurement cards for the Emergency Medical Services Department.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Brad Lutz, Director of Business Operations. Once again, pretty routine here in terms of requesting the use of procurement card in allowance with a policy currently in place in the county.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 19-516. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 19-517, in the matter of approving a transfer of funds.
So moved.
Second. Discussion.
These are the same person, same name, same title. These are the transfer of funds related to the first quarter casino revenues received. So these are being transferred into the 420 fund to be used for capital improvements specifically related to the historical courthouse project as it stands today.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 19-517. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you, Brad.
Resolution number 19-518, declaring improvements to certain real property located in Orange Township, Delaware County, Ohio, to be a public purpose, declaring improvements to be exempt from real property taxation, requiring the owners therefore to make service payments in lieu of taxes, designating the public infrastructure improvements to be made that will directly benefit the real property, establishing a public improvement tax increment equivalent fund for the deposit of service and payments, and authorizing a compensation agreement with the Board of Education of Olentangy Local School District and the Board of Education of the Delaware Area Career Center.
So moved.
Second. Discussion.
Commissioners, Bob Lamb, Economic Development Director for the county. Your attorney, Eric, wanted me to make clear that he did not draft that resolution.
It's a long one.
It is.
Long, big
I mean, even, well, the resolution and
I
then
think
the
Sarah
explanation.
missed a word. We want you to read it again.
It's all good. The intent was there.
The item before you is a request to approve an 18-year, 75% tax increment financing agreement with Orange Township, the Olentangy School District, and the landowner of the area. This project will complete really the area that we began almost 2 years ago working on from the Evans Farm project location along Lewis Center Road, moving westward to the Kerbler site, and then across 23 over to this Home High location. The revenue generated from this TIF will go to help with a variety of public improvements, including the Home Road extension moving across 23, going through the Kerbler development area, and then over the railroad tracks tying into Lewis Center, creating that east-to-west connector. This specific agreement is slightly different than the ones that came to you previously. It's 18 years and not 20. We worked with the school district, and in order to accommodate their request, did decrease it by 2 years. Also, we worked with the developer to restructure the standard agreement a little to allow for an incentive to help encourage development of office space on the site and not just a retail-oriented project. So the developer is able to recoup a little additional cost through interest and other items if they are able to secure a office tenant for the location. Finally, we did work with sanitary sewer to make sure that we're able to secure the proper sewer easements moving through the site that will allow us to accommodate the needs of the Kerbler development project. Happy to answer any other questions that you have regarding this agreement.
Yeah, I didn't really have any more questions. Again, you and the other folks involved in this have done a nice job of keeping me up to date, and I think the other commissioners as well. So we're on board, understand it, support it. I think a couple things I'd like to point out. Number one, this does get us one more piece of the east-west connector in the southern Delaware County. This is a very important priority for the county to have a good east-west connector. This is one more big piece of that, so this will enable that to happen. I want to thank Olentangy and Orange Township and the others who were involved in this, because these things are not easy. You know, they're challenging, they're tricky, there's a lot of legal work involved. Economic work or economic impact and so on. And then also it does enable us to continue our mission to reduce our reliance on residential property taxes by encouraging more commercial development. And that's what this project will also accomplish. So.
It should be noted the parcel behind this was split off for a residential component. So by doing this, we did help position approximately 20 acres or so to become commercial in nature and not residential.
And the residential was?
It was an EPCON development. I don't know the exact specifics of it, but it has moved through Orange Township approval process.
Okay, thank you. Well stated, I can't add anything to that. Thank you, Bob, for your work on this.
Thank you. I'd like to thank both Eric, the county engineer's office, and the sewer district. They all helped very much on putting this
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, sewer was a big part of this project as well. I forgot to thank those folks.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. Vote.
Vote on motion 19-518. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
That brings us to administrative reports.
Report today.
Oh, my gosh. And Commissioner Benton?
Yeah,
You have the
I've got
floor.
a few things. There's been a lot going on, as there always is. I was privileged and honored to speak at the Memorial Day ceremony at Oak Grove, and actually got invited to speak at another event that day as well, so, from someone who was attending it, so I spoke there as well, at Resurrection Cemetery. But this was the program from it. Harold Wolford and his Vietnam Veterans Chapter 1095 is the one that really puts this together. It was very well attended, very good event. I think there were probably 300 or 300 people there. So it was very well attended. And he gave a history of a number of different things that we just don't really know about. I didn't know all the details, the background of dog tags, you know, how they came to be, and the riderless horse, the 3 volleys at a service, and the origin of taps. I mean, he really, it was really very interesting. He did a lot of homework to explain to everybody who was there.
Nice program.
Yeah, it was a very nice program. So thanks to Harold and his team. And again, it was very well attended. Beautiful morning. We've got a sanitary engineer award luncheon and event at Willis, at the Willis building, this afternoon, or at noon, or 11:30, I guess it is. So I believe Commissioner Lewis is going as well. So it's great to see that our sanitary engineer department is getting another award. They do such outstanding work. Going to a McDonald's grand reopening on 3637 at 71. That unit's been remodeled, and I'm really curious, being an ex-Wendy's guy, I'm curious to talk to the owners of McDonald's and learn about how that operation works.
And that way looks great.
Yeah,
I haven't been inside.
Yeah, they were closed for several months, I think it was.
Yes.
Memorial Tournament is on. Hope
yes.
everybody gets a chance to go out. Hopefully today won't be a washout, but the rest of the weekend looks really good weather-wise. Tomorrow is the Turning Point ribbon cutting.
At 11:30?
At 11:30?
believe,
I think it, or no, I think it's at 1.
11 to 2.
11 to 2, yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
think the ribbon cutting is actually at 1.
Oh,
I think
okay.
that's what my calendar event had.
Oh, okay.
So
We'll have to.
we'll double-check that.
Double-check with United.
Yeah, went to the leaderboard breakfast yesterday morning. Bob Lamb was there, and very well attended. You know, there were probably 200 or 300 people there, and a lot of Central Ohio economic development leaders in particular, and had a good conversation. As we all know, and are all very proud of the fact that Jack built most of his golf course in Delaware County. And so therefore, it's a big economic activity for Delaware County, as well as the rest of Central Ohio, you know, each year, and this was a great way to celebrate that. And then I just want to mention again, we've announced our new EMS director. So welcome to Jeff Fischel, coming in
Yes.
from Oklahoma.
Yes.
How we got 2 people from Oklahoma here is beyond me, but that did happen somehow. So anyway, really looking forward to his starting, and he'll be a great add and great leader, and so I want to welcome Jeff officially in the
A
public.
lot of hands-on experience,
Yep.
great master's degree.
Education,
Yeah,
hands-on leadership,
right.
just a really good candidate.
I guess when he was with Administrator Fromer, Jeff wanted to jump on the trucks
Yeah.
out there. And so, anyway, as he was touring, he wanted to see the different stations and was very hands-on, which is good. So yes, all went well. I was at the Powell Memorial Day ceremony, very nice ceremony, few bands there and a lot of people.
That's a big event.
And Congressman Balderson was there, and was a nice ceremony. It's great. It was a nice day, but it's always good to see people turn out and remember those who kept our country safe and paid the ultimate price. So we do have some great Memorial Day ceremonies throughout Delaware County. I'm usually at Radnor, and that's like going back in time 20 years. And Tom Price reminded me that they just got another All-American City Award. So anyway, but that's all I have. But we do have need for executive session.
We do. Resolution number 19-519, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of appointment, employment, compensation of a public employee or public official to consider the purchase of property for public purposes.
So moved.
Second, discussion vote.
Vote on motion 19-519. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Now recessed into executive session.
Resolution number 19-520, in the matter of adjourning out of executive session.
So moved.
Second, discussion vote.
Vote on motion 19-520. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye. We are now adjourned.